used to use the word culture, but it's a leadership style, not a culture. Reason being is it's a very loose word thrown out everywhere. Everybody uses culture everywhere without actually thinking much of it. So what we realized is when I ask somebody, anybody, hey, what differentiates you from other people, your competitors? They say that we have an amazing culture. Good, perfect, we'll sell you a culture. Big pause happen, nobody can sell a culture. So something has to be filled, something has to be like lived with. So it's an actual leadership style that is embedded in people's brains and minds that it polices itself. So if you're not there, if the team, if something happened in the team and the team leader is not there, it's no different than a family at home. The parents are not there, and then the family member will be like, if something is going off, that's not really what the family used to do. They'll be like, hey, listen, that's not what we used to do. So it will police itself out. So it's a leadership style, a bottom-up leadership, not top-down. People are the one that polices the culture, not me, not anybody. So we don't use that word, we use the leadership style. Everybody is a CEO of the brand, and everybody is a cultural leader between themselves.
So Andrew, thank you for that.
Thank you.
How do you create collaborative spaces for your team to excel?
Yeah, so I'm Andrew Franklin out of Houston. We have a team of about 45 agents and did about $600 million the last couple of years, and planning to beat that this year. So just wanted to get some, hey, yeah!
Yeah!
Can I ask to repeat to them? I'm just kidding. So for us, we had a big shift in our business, call it about 2 years ago. And I think it would be a good takeaway for a lot of you team leaders. We started using a management sort of structure called an entrepreneurial operating system. It's called EOS. All right. So I would definitely write that down. Write down a couple of these books, Rocket Fuel and Traction. So for us and for you team leaders in the room, you know, you're the visionary of your business, and a lot of the things that are in your head are not really known by your people. And that was me. I was like, hey, we're selling, you know, 1,000 homes a year now. We want to sell 10,000 homes a year in 5 years, and everyone knows that, right? Because I know it, and I live and I breathe it. And the fact of the matter is, your people don't know it unless they're growing in the same direction as you. And so when we went on EOS, big thing on EOS is sharing your vision with all your people, from your agents to your staff to your runner to your receptionist, and to me, having that where everyone is sort of knowing where you're going, what you're doing every quarter. EOS has these quarterly meetings where you tell your whole team, hey, this is what we're working on this quarter. So for us, collaboration and culture was a lot about getting people rowing in the same direction so we could work on our goals together and show why our goals were important to our agents, and knowing that, hey, the reason we want to grow to find our big EOS talks about a big, hairy, audacious goal of BHAG, and ours is to sell 5,000 homes in 1 year in Houston by 2032. And why is that important to our agents? That's important to our agents because for us to get there, we're going to have to add more lead sources, add more positions. Why is that important for our admin and our staff? Okay, now they have the ability to grow and change roles. We've had people now in our company that have started at one role and then moved to VP of Ops and then to President. And so we can tell those stories to our people so that they know that, hey, we're not stagnant. We're here growing together, and they're going to have a bigger opportunity if that's what they want. And so for us, collaboration, culture, it's all the same thing, right? We're all trying to grow a bigger business, a better business, and create a better sort of company for everyone on our team.
So that leads me to, when you are scaling, how are you really creating those collaborative spaces so you don't have that disconnect that happens with your team? How are you gentlemen doing this?
You gotta have fun. You know, life's about having a little bit of fun. I think people can be stuffy at times, and we create, you know, an environment where people have this amazing connection, and that creates natural people wanting to join without ever having to recruit. There's a girl on our team moved to Florida from California, and I saw a picture of her with 12 women on her team for her birthday. And I called her and said, you know, that was really special to see all of you together like that. And she said, this company has literally changed my life. These are the 12 closest people in my life to this time. The space that you've created is a place that has community, it has family dynamic, and we like to have fun too. We goof off, we get out in public together. We do a lot of things outside of just the office space, and that's really attractive to other people because everyone tries to, again, portray an image, but it comes down to what real relationships are you truly having within your organization. And when you can always look at the dollars and the production and the different layers, but I don't think that you win chasing dollars by being an ass. You know, it really comes down to what's your legacy being built off of, how your company and the people that you surround yourself with positively influence other people and create an environment where they just enjoy showing up to work and loving the people that they're surrounding themselves with. And that to me is something that is sustainable in any market, anytime. And you know, we pick each other up when we need to be picked up. We celebrate success together. No one's asking, why did that person get that opportunity, not me? We really pay attention to the ones that are showing up, and we spend the majority of our time with them. And it's kind of an unspoken word. Other people start recognizing that and realizing, like, gosh, I want that attention too. How could I be doing things differently to get that extra attention? And Chuck Fazio, really, as you're going to grow your organization, it's hard to have that one-on-one time with everyone, so you got to see who's truly swimming to the boat to be saved. And that doesn't mean you have to reprimand the others as long as they're not being damaging to your brand. Because they can, you know, there's a lot of people that may do a few deals a year as a part-time job, and they could be a great extension of your brand, creates this like collaborative space that they're just proud to be there for the relationships that are there, and again, it's sustainable when you have the relationships with that.
So, yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about recognition. Recognition is very important when we're growing our teams. So what are you gentlemen doing to really recognize those in your team, including events and so on and so forth? Dive into that for us.
For the recognition, we do have a cultural leader award every month.
I still like that word.
I'm coming. Yeah. So it's when you want to describe a culture, it is a leadership style, because it's not a thing anyway. Culture is not a thing. So how can we measure it? We do have an actual 2 surveys that we send out every month. The culture leader award survey, which basically means who from your fellow partners that go out their own way to impact your life positively and the overall well-being of the organization. So everybody in the company, for somebody else, that is the big award. So the biggest award that we give is not for the best salesperson, it's for the award of a particular month. That's 1. 2, we do have a value survey. We survey the crap out of our people. We survey the crap out of them. So,
okay, let's dig into that a little
yeah,
bit more.
So the 1 survey, which is who impacted the life of everybody in the team. The other survey is if you're the decision maker, it's called the value survey. So if you're the decision maker of the company, what is one thing you would like us to do, stop, or continue doing? So people in the team, they give us suggestions of, hey, we would love to do this, we should do that, we should do that. So I'm sitting here, instead of me thinking of what should I do to improve the company, I have 60 other brains that thinking with me, tell me ideas. So they actually run the company, not me. So they hear that their voice is being heard. And the next month, we say like, hey, thanks for Jennifer for suggesting this and that. Now we have this in place because of Jennifer's suggestion. So thank you, everybody claps for Jennifer. And then everybody else will be like, oh, okay, well, I can have a voice too. So they are the one that runs the company, not me. So it's their business at the end of the day.
So they feel they have a voice.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Andrew, what are you all doing to recognize?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit both of those questions if you don't mind. So the first thing you need to realize when you're growing a team, whether your goal is to, have 50 agents or 10 agents, where you're at today versus where you're wanting to grow, if growth is in the picture, it's going to get messy. So a lot of these things that she's asking, even though we're on stage, we're all struggling with as well, right? We just rolled out a company initiative that we haven't even talked to our team about, where we because we've gone from 15 agents to 45 agents in a short period of time, and we've hired a director of growth to even increase that growth even more, is the culture in that, you know, piece of everyone feeling like, hey, we're all a family is harder when you're at 45 agents than when you were at 15, and it's going to be a lot harder than when you're at 100. And so we now have an initiative where we're going to do something not related to real estate, where we're just going to do what Nathan's talking about and just have fun, right? And do stuff where we can feel that we're a family. When we were 10 agents, with our agents, I mean, I have a couple of great agents in the room, the Coolies. They came to Thanksgiving dinner at my dad's house a number of years ago. That's how our team culture was back then. Now at 45 agents, I'll be the first to say, if all 45 are in front of me right now, I don't know if I could give all of their names, because they're coming on board quickly, and a lot of that growth has happened in the last 6 months. And so that's a real problem. That is a real problem, because then they just become a number, and then they don't feel like, do these team leaders and does leadership care? And so the bigger you get, the messier it gets, and the more you have to focus on these things. Scaling's hard, but you know, if you're purposeful and you have things that you're building both with your clients and your agents to build that culture, have events, you know, we did an axe throwing, we're going to do more stuff like that. So it's axe throwing.
Did anybody else hear another word?
Axe throwing would be fun too. But axe throwing.
Where do they do that?
That's a thing in Texas.
It's supportive too.
And so, you know, it's just, for us, it's becoming, and this is another EOS term, is a rock. A rock is something our leadership team, everyone on the leadership team has 2 to 3 rocks every quarter, and our goal is to hit 100% completion of those rocks. One of our leadership team members' rock this quarter is to have a 12-month calendar of events planned where we can just work on the culture of the company. Because when you grow, and it's a really big mistake, it seems.
To be glad on that. Scaling is not that hard. I do have 68 people in the team. I know every single person's name. I know the shoe size every single person in the company. Not joking, it's a true statement. I know the shoe size of every single person. I know their wives' names, their kids' names, their kids' birthdays. I know their dogs' names. If they're married, I know their anniversary date. So here is what happens. As you're scaling your business, under some sort of philosophical, academical way of teaching people how to grow their businesses, under the scaling, they end up scaling themselves out of relationship. And it backfires and keeps them stuck. So as you're scaling your business, never scale yourself out of relationship with people, because there is one word, it's called retention, is the truth of the experience. It's the authority score in your marketplace. One word, increasing your authority score, which is a fancy way of saying you're the place for the top producing agents to work and never leave. The higher the authority score, the legit you are. So I don't think it's hard, it's actually very easy. So you just have to hire a person that is a community specialist that keeps track of all of that for me. So I know the love language of every person too. I know the love language of every person in the team.
I barely know my own dog's name, so.
Well, I think it has to do with the seriousness level of how you're teaching the business.
I think recognition comes from just really paying attention and having that personal call. You know, we give shout outs to people on our team for success and things that they're doing, but sometimes it's just picking up the phone and saying, hey, I noticed that you seem a little off today. Is everything okay with you and your families? And sometimes there's extra calls. Just pay attention, because we all face pain, we all face pleasure. People are battling a lot of crazy shit in this world today, and you got to pay attention to that, because sometimes those conversations is the forever longevity of retention. And we also, again, when people are showing up in a different light than other people, we're not reprimanding people, we're not scolding in public, but we're lifting up the ones that are showing up on a bigger level and rewarding that conversation with other people, and then naturally other people will gravitate towards, man, like, my name's not being mentioned like that. Maybe there's something internally that I should be doing a little differently. Callie, I miss her a lot. She's in the room today.
Where's Callie?
There she
Hey,
is.
Callie.
So, Callie, going back to a very keep it real environment, which is, I think, really hard to find in any business. It's very easy to point your finger at the systems a company may have, or leadership, or different roles. But sometimes you just have to pause and look internally. Can you be showing up differently? And Callie spoke up at one of her meetings. It was music to my ears, and it was just awesome to see her transparency. But she said that 2 months ago, she was sitting there feeling sorry for herself, pointing fingers, not mentally there, and she said, I had to have a big wake-up call. I just really asked myself, how am I showing up for my business? And I said, in all honesty, I was showing up for 10% of my time. 10% of the things I know I should be doing. And she started changing that, and she really started looking internally on how to improve. She put 6 properties under contract in 8 days of that meeting that we had, and it's continuing to grow. She paid for the VIP ticket to come here. I mean, you really recognize who is stepping up and really surrounding yourself around those people, and the other ones will naturally gravitate to that space that they're meant to be there.
Obvious round of applause from the cast. So I know some of you came up to me and asked this question, so I'd like to ask it to the gentleman. Not everybody has a huge budget to be able to really spoil our teams. So what are you all doing? How much of your budget are you putting toward events, things to really bring the team together? Are you open to sponsorship? Are you not open to sponsorship? What does that look like?
7% of the top line, 7% of the top line goes towards the culture of the company, in the sense of like birthdays, gifts, trips, like swatches, custom-made suits.
Brand new shoes, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, new shoes.
Yes.
So yeah, 7% of the company dollar goes towards the building the culture and the community atmosphere of the company. We're in the H2H business, not B2B, not to B2C. We're in the human-to-human business. So.
Yeah, I think random acts of kindness, reaching out to someone said, I really appreciate you been showing up. I'd love for you and your wife to go out to an awesome dinner this weekend on us. We really like to do events to get people together. We rented out a big sailboat and went on a sunset cruise with everyone. We do smaller events too. It's hard as you grow a bigger team at times to encompass it all in this. So we looked at a group that were our original people before we started scaling, and we called it the OG breakfast, and we took them out to breakfast, and it was just so cool to see them being recognized in that space. I really feel that getting experiences at times is what creates the memory, and it's amazing when you get the right people in your organization in the room together and to see them actually have a great time because they enjoy each other, not because they just have to be at a work event. And those are the conversations, in my opinion, that continue to spread goodwill about what a positive company looks like.
Andrew.
Yeah, our vendor partners are super important to us. So whether we're doing a client event or just a company internal event, our vendor partners are always there. A lot of times, since we're not asking them to pay for leads, or we take very little from our vendor partners, but when we do an event, we do ask them to participate. They're happy to do that. We barely do ask for that, but a lot of our events, both internal on the team as well as client stuff, are covered mostly by our vendor partners.
So we hear the word legacy a lot here at EXP. Legacy is very important to this company, so it's very important to us as agents. So I'm going to ask each of your gentlemen to please answer, how are you going to leave your legacy through your team?
Everybody here in the room here paid for VIP tickets, so you paid more money to go learn something. And time is you're not going to get it back, that's for sure. So we're going to make sure that's worth it for you, worth it for your time. So here is what the real test in life that everybody will ask gonna going to take that exam, that test, but you're not going to get to see the results. Your family will see. So when we say legacy, be very careful what you're saying, because my legacy is how many people is going to walk up in my funeral when I die. That is the legacy. How many people is going to show up in your funeral after you die? So is every single person that you're doing business with will come in and walk in your legacy, walk in your funeral after you die because of the impact that you made in their life when you were alive? If the answer is no, you have a lot of work to do. And sure as hell you have to know their freaking name in order for them to come walk in your funeral. Just think. So yeah, for me, legacy is like how many people you're gonna impact in your life using that business as a vehicle, so when you're no longer here, when you die, would it make a real difference that you've lived? Ask yourself that question. When you die, would it make a real difference that you've lived? And then backtrack and do things accordingly, because that is going to happen anyway.
I think a legacy is something that lives beyond yourself. So I agree with that. It's, what is the lasting piece of the impact you made in other people, and how are you teaching people to deliver that impact that are younger than you, that continues to carry on. We have a very pay it forward environment as well. If you know the answer, share it with someone else. If you see someone that needs some help, put your arm around them and help them out. And I feel where our legacy impact started changing is when I was also willing to let my own guard down. So often people look at a leadership in a team to have all the answers, to be the motivator, to be the one that picks them up. And it's that time when you just share that, hey, I cry the same tears, I have the same stresses, I go through the same battles. Life is tough sometimes, and I need y'all just as much as you think you need me. And the inspiration for leadership comes from the people that they're leading. And if you're creating an inspirational environment that continues to pay it forward to the people that are coming into your organization, then that legacy will continue to build generationally well beyond yourself.
Yeah, our business is more than just a team or a company. My dad started our business 41 years ago, and I had the very fortunate opportunity to have a very good name in the marketplace and a lot of relationships. And so for us, legacy was always about, me and my sister actually purchased a business from my dad, and legacy was more about how can we take what he started and build it to another level and give more and bigger opportunities to those that we get to partner with on our team. And so I tell my clients all the time, we've been around 41 years, we plan to be around another 40 years. And I don't know what that's going to look like as far as the team in another 40 years, but it's just sort of a mentality of doing the right thing, building in the right way, having integrity. So when clients or team members have an experience with us, they always say it's positive. We thought about them before we thought about ourselves. And so legacy to us is not just a word, it's something that my dad started and we're living every day trying to build and completely give him honor to all the good stuff we got in the business.
So I'm going to do something a little different. We have three, excuse my language, badasses on the stage right now. And it's important because you all took the time to be here today. So I know we're in a different market right now. We all have our own specific struggles. So I'm going to open up the last 10 minutes for questions for these gentlemen. What do you want to ask three gentlemen who have unbelievably productive teams and how they can help you with what you're struggling with right now? Please stand up.
I've been part of a couple teams and we choose to start our own team. So what's the meat and potatoes to start a team? Where do you start from square one? I understand. Where's the foundation? Or do you start a playbook? Do you just start doing even attraction? Where's the foundation?
I think you just have to remove your ego and start finding people smarter than you are and all the prospective roles you're trying to fulfill. I think often I try to hire people that you felt that you were superior to in a way, and you're too concerned about what it would take. You're almost like more of a budget-minded thought process of here's what our budget will allow, and this is who we can get to help grow our team. But you're gonna know in the first 90 days if that person's gonna elevate your business. And, really to search for people that you feel can do it better than you can, because you can't do it all, and you gotta find out what your personal superpower is and focus on that. And when you start asking other people that, it's crazy how that conversation changes. Hey, if there was one superpower that you thought you had in this industry, what does that look like? One girl that just merged her 17-person team into our team, she said conversion. I said, well, what if we created an environment that's all you had to focus on was conversion? And she said, I would absolutely love that role. And we made that happen. And she merged her team into her company. Instead of having a jack of all trades in marketing, say, what's the one thing about marketing that you think that you excel the most in? I love graphic design, I love SEO, I love social media, I love these different things. If you can start building that from even a contract labor standpoint where they don't have to be on salary, you can find people to say, what would a bonus structure look like that could base your pay off the scalability of our company that you would see the benefits of. And if you start asking more people, what does that look like for them, you're gonna have deeper conversations about how that could look like for your company.
Did you say you want to start a team? Okay, good. So here is something that I did that will work for you very well, practically speaking. Go interview other teams in your city, if you were to join them, and then bring a pen and paper, draw a line in the middle. When you sit with the team, write down yourself in front of the mirror, every single reason why you need to join a team. I know you might be thinking, I want to start a team, I don't want to join a team. I understand that. Every reason that if there is a team in your city, you will end up joining, what would that team has to look like? Write down every pros and every reason, like you need to have this and this and this and this. If you do that, I will join them. Write that down. The flip side of the line on the same paper, every single possible reason you will never join a team if you have any of this list, okay? And go and sit down and interview all of those teams. And go build a team that you couldn't find that has the stuff that you want and doesn't have the stuff that you don't want, because here is one thing. You cannot afford but to live in the future, to welcome the agent when they arrive at the future version of themselves. Meaning, agent that you're gonna end up hiring to partner with you to join your team, they're not less smarter than you. That exercise that you've done is already in their head. They just don't know that. So they would like to have everything that you have, and you don't want to have the stuff that you don't want to have. So build the team that way in order for you to attract those agents. That's the best way to start.
Mike's coming.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you very much. I'm Sherry from Southwest Florida. New to EXP, I came from a small brokerage where we had no training. So I was kind of ignorance on fire for 2 years until we joined EXP and have all this amazing training. My question is, we are now a team of 11 people. We're very close, great team, but we're starting to grow. And we don't have any systems in place. And I'm curious to learn what kind of systems you set up or recommend to set up, say for new agents who are brand new versus people who already have experience.
So is your goal to add more agents, or? Okay. So we were about your size, agent count wise, not too long ago, and for us, number one was we had to get the onboarding right. The first 30, 60, 90 days of an agent being on your team has to be dialed in. And the beautiful thing about EXP is that if you don't want the complete headache of shooting all the videos yourself, which we did, it took us about 2 years, you can spend a lot of those resources and sort of rely on what EXP has already built. But you absolutely have to dial in before you go from 10 to 20, in my opinion. They might have different answers. We all have different teams and different thoughts, but that was super important to us that we could efficiently onboard people where they weren't always coming back to us saying, what do I do next? So that was important. I think another extremely important system is tracking lead conversion, lead source spend, where you're spending money on lead sources, what agents are converting, where are the gaps. Probably everyone in this room has heard of CSU. We use CSU. It's a dashboard that does a good job tracking all that stuff. So to me, when you start going from 10 agents to 20 agents, it's onboarding, and then what you're going to realize is a lot of people do join teams to be fed leads, right? And so if you are going to start spending more money on the return, so you can dial up or dial down that spend depending on where you're spending. So I know, fellas, you probably have different answers or thoughts.
Well, our team grew crazy fast during COVID because Florida was the only place open in the whole world, practically, and we were literally just bringing people on to absorb the growth and activity. But we are really dialing in today. Onboarding, I think, is huge because you can drive yourself crazy if you'll end up repeating the wheel so often. You get new people that come in, you're having to say the same things. New people come in, you're having to say the same things, and that can completely wear out your operational staff. We have about a 6-person full-time staff. They're all specialized in different areas, and so instead of us doing the videos alone, we're having each of them, including ourselves, do the videos on to start what are the top 4 things you want to share. Mine was more just kind of your introduction to them. Welcome to our team. It's all video format. We're using a program called Trainual that we're building out right now. Second one is how the right mindset around real estate. Third video is how to really dial in and to become the master of your market and knowledge and how to study and learn your market. And they're all doing those videos together, and it actually shows what videos have they completed, what have they gone through, and have that onboarding to show that, like, hey, if you're still asking questions where it's clear that you haven't gone through those steps, then let's redirect you back to the steps, because a lot of real estate too is being a self-starter, right? It's not the mindset that someone else is going to do your business for you. I think that's a huge piece, and our marketer add-on is amazing, and our vision is to allow our brand to support their personal brand. When you try to have your brand be them, the commitment's a little different. We want Abbott Market Group to be the brand that supports their personal brand, and once you start teaching people how to become better marketers of themselves, that will last forever in the way that they're growing versus always trying, because if you create an environment where you're always going to do the marketing for them, you're going to drain yourself with expense. But if you can teach them to be expert marketers, well, now you have your entire organization naturally marketing Abbott Market Group, because that's the piece that's supporting their personal brand.
Can you share that system again for training?
Yeah, it's called Trainual.
We use the same thing.
Trainual. Another thing that we've used that's been a godsend for us is we use all of Google Business Platform. It's not very expensive to have. You want to do the professional version, but we have a chat, a Google chat that everyone's tapped into, and it's amazing. As mentioned before, the pay it forward environment. Like, I just watched that chat, and it's so awesome to see all these other agents answering the questions from other agents that don't know them, and it just creates a really awesome collaborative environment.
Okay. One more question. Let's take it count.
Just one second. These are amazing practical stuff that you can implement in your business that will help you a lot. One more tip, if you want to differentiate yourself from the other people in your marketplace, just understand that you're the ceiling for the growth of the company. I would suggest study heavily the human behaviors of the companies. Human behavior, and then try to lead yourself sideways, backwards, forward before you lead other people. So that's plus the whole systems and models and stuff that will help you a lot to be different environment than other teams. Human behaviors.
Oh, guys, don't make me pick.
I got one question over here, if you don't, with the mic.
Hi, I'm Sharon
Oh, mine is
Bramlage.
ready. Okay, here we go.
Sharon Bramlage. I'm from Michigan, Detroit metropolitan area, and I'm just curious what kind of traits you look in team members to bring them onto your team.
Hungry, humble, and smart.
I think you'll recognize in the first 30 seconds if it's completely awkward sitting there trying to have a conversation, or is it something that just comes naturally. I think that's the #1 step, because if it's awkward, it's hard to communicate, it's going to be a struggle. So you're not really sure how people are going to perform, time will tell in that regard, but you can definitely tell if they're being real to themselves and they're taking some of the pressure off and they're just a natural connection for your brand. And And we look for that, and people know when people come onto our team, it is that natural synergy, and they have immediate connection with other people on our team because it's a similar environment.
We have 5 core values that when we're interviewing a new agent or a new team member, we sort of scare them and talk about those core values. And if they start tensing up that, hey, that's not the environment they would want to be in, they're probably not going to be a fit. And we sort of tell them that hey, this is what people embody on our team, and they're not just words, they're actually what we live by, or what we reward with, recognize for, hire with. And so those core values are used in every single interview. And we have stories of agents that constantly are embodying those core values. And for us, they sort of self-select out because we know if they don't fit those 5 core values, we're probably not the right fit for them.
I want to thank you all so much. I'm so sorry we're out of time. I wish we had another hour. Thank you so much for being here. Please welcome